The jungle has always been seen as this dangerous place, filled with ferocious animals and bugs ready to eat humans alive. Although the survival rate of being attacked by one of these wild creatures is rare, it can happen. Sometimes even the most ferocious of animals will do what they must in order to survive, even if that means protecting another species that was supposed to be on the menu. Here are the 15 wild animals that saved human lives. Number 15. Lions rescue little girl from kidnappers. While you and I may think of lions as terrifying, they were actually quick to come to the rescue for this 12-year-old girl from Kenya. Reports showed that she was kidnapped by 4 men as she walked back home from schools. Kidnappings have become far too common in the world, and maybe we all thought that this one would end just as tragically as the rest of them. But our surprise, 3 lions came to the rescue a week after the girl was abducted. The heroic lions were quick to scare off the 4 men who had kidnapped a little girl and even stood there to protect the girl till police arrived at the scene. The little girl was reportedly shocked and surrounded by lions when she was found, while the girl had some bruises on her body by the way she was handled by the kidnappers. The lions did not even try to hurt the girl once. After listening to the storyline, experts suggested that perhaps the lions wanted to eat the little girl themselves after chasing off the kidnappers. However, when the lions heard her cry, they probably associated her with the baby lion cub and stood to protect her instead. In our opinion, wild lions protecting little girl is truly a heroic story. Number 14. Mama gorilla saves little boy. Speaking of wild animals saving children, you need to listen to this story about how a gorilla mama was able to save a 3-year-old's life. We all know gorillas don't like anybody intruding their personal space, which is basically why no human wants to come into close contact with a wild gorilla either out in the forest or in the zoo. It is a true fact that a giant gorilla can kill a big, tall man very easily. That is why everybody became terrified when a mother accidentally dropped her 3-year-old boy into the gorilla enclosure at the Brookfield Zoo in Illinois. The staff, the other visitors, and even the family of the baby had assumed the worst. But to everyone's surprise, a gorilla mama had some serious maternal instincts when she spotted the little baby. Binti, a 7-year-old mama gorilla with her own baby, was particularly quick to run to the 3-year-old child and pick him up into her arms. She carefully carried him to the door of the enclosure and handed him over to the zoo staff who could take care of him. Accordingly, we think that the mama gorilla was quick to save the little boy because she had a baby of her own. We can only imagine what would have happened if she wasn't a mother herself. Number 13. Pig saves woman from heart attack. Lulu was an unwanted pig who was almost abandoned by the woman who received her as a birthday present. After having some pity on the poor animal, the woman's mother, Joan, kept Lulu in her own home, while the pig was only kept inside the gated fence and had minimal interaction with Joan. Lulu was still quick to notice when her owner was suffering from a heart attack at home, but somehow managing to break open the gate of the yard. Lulu sprinted out into the roads and attempted to stop traffic until someone would notice her. For quite some time, Lulu was ignored on the streets, and she still kept running back to the house to check on Jones. Notably, there was even a dog inside the home who did nothing to save the owner. If you ask us, that is pretty strange for a dog. When a man finally followed Lulu back to the house to attend to her concerns, he was shocked to find Joan having a heart attack there. The man quickly called for help, and Jonah was rescued by medical professionals immediately. The brave pig Lulu now is a special place in all of our hearts, and she even got a jelly donut as a reward for her good work. Number 12. Whale saves snorkeler from deadly shark. Whales are often found to be friendly to humans who dive underwater. However, they are unlikely to actually come in contact with humans and often just ignore their presence. That is why marine biologist Anne Hosser was surprised when she felt a humpback whale slightly nudging her as she was snorkeling underwater. In her 28 years of experience with whales, she had never before encountered a humpback whale coming in so close to her and actually interacting. The whale was very persistent in trying to put Hosser on his head back or to just tuck her under the large fin. As Hosser was incredibly confused, she began to look around to understand why the whale was behaving in this unusual way. She quickly noticed a tiger shark in the distance who was likely to launch an attack suit. That is the moment when Hosser realized that the adorable 50,000-pound whale was only trying to protect her from the wrath of the tiger shark. After much research, scientists concluded that this protective instinct in whales comes from their habit of protecting their own cats from such predators as a sea. If you think that the humpback whale saving Hosser's life is the best part of the story, you are incredibly wrong. The snorkeler was able able to capture the entire thing on video, and has become immensely popular as the woman who was saved by a whale. Number 11. Horse to the rescue of a farmer. There are 3 creatures involved in this story: a cow, a horse, and a farmer. An unusual trio, right? Well, it is a known fact that cows kill up to 4 times more people as sharks each year, and that's pretty terrifying. The reason why cows have such a huge kill count is due to their aggressive ways of attacking people. That is why it was not surprising when a mother cow immediately packed Fiona. A Scottish farmer who was trying to help her cast the mother cow had thought that Fiona was hurting her baby and was quick to jump and stop on Fiona. If you ask us, we think that the cow was ready to kill Fiona right there. The beating continued until Fiona's horse, Carrie, came to the rescue of her owner. Carrie pushed the mother cow off of Fiona and allowed Fiona enough time to get to safety inside the shed. According to reports, Fiona believes that if it weren't for Carrie, she would have been killed by the aggressive mother cow. Horses are known to develop intimate bonds with their owners, which is why Kelly was quick to step in when she saw Fiona getting stomped by the angry cow. Number 10. Man attacked by mountain lion and saved by a bear. It's not every day that you go out on a hike and see a lot of wildlife. In fact, sometimes nature is eerily quiet. But for Paradise, California man Robert Biggs, he certainly saw more wildlife than he had hoped to. Fortunately for him, they weren't all out to get him. Robert had been going hiking and gold panning near Whiskey Flats when he noticed a mother bear yearling and cub on a stream bank. As he stopped to watch them, something launched itself onto his back, and he was knocked onto his knees. Before he knew it, a mountain lion had latched onto his back. He managed to hit it in the head with a rock. But then the huge mother bear came to his rescue. I had my rock pick, and I come around and swinging real hard. She grabbed the lion by the neck before it got free and ran away. She then casually sauntered back to her cubs. Robert believes that the lion had been targeting the cub, but he had gotten away. While that situation could have taken a turn for the worst, Robert is forever grateful to the protective mama bear for making sure that it didn't. Number 9. Beluga whale saves diver. Beluga whales are highly sociable subarctic and Arctic cetaceans that love to play with each other and objects they find in the water. They are also curious about humans and love swimming alongside boats. So if you are going to be saved by any wild animal in the ocean, it's likely to be a beluga whale. At Polar Land Aquarium at Harbor, Northeast China, a diver by the name of Yang Yang was competing in a free dive competition. Her goal was to eventually land a job training whales. Yang Yun ended up being one of 7 finalists, and she wanted to prove herself. She tried to deep dive as far as possible into the aquarium tank without the use of diving gear. When she ran out of breath, she attempted to resurface, but leg cramping impacted her ability to do so. Yang started to sink as she wasn't able to fight the water's buoyancy. Fortunately, Mila and Nicola, 2 beluga whales, sensed something was wrong and jumped into action. Mila grabbed Yang's leg with her mouth and managed to push her to the surface. That's right, a whale saved a diver's life. Number 8. Deer saves woman and chases away her attacker. While a deer may not have saved a woman's life intentionally, the fact that it did is still something to celebrate. The Cincinnati Enquirer reported that a woman had left a party when she was attacked from behind by an unknown man in Oxford, Ohio. He attempted to choke her with her purse before punching her in the head. The woman had no time to react. Fortunately for her, help was about to come from an unlikely source. And no, it wasn't a random passerby, a police officer, or any human. In fact, it was a deer. The deer was in the right place at the right time and ran out from the brush, which scared the attacker. He ran away with none of the woman's property he may have been attempting to steal. While the deer was surely not trying to be a hero, it certainly looks that way. Police Sergeant John Varley said in his 17-year career, he had never seen anything like it. He believes the commotion woke the deer sleeping in the brush and caused it to run out of the bushes. The timing of it meant that the woman suffered only red marks and bruising, but nothing more severe. Dearie me, what a tale. Number 7. 3 beavers save orphan boy. Beavers are nocturnal, semi-aquatic rodents that most people associate with building dams, canals, and their little lodge homes. But if you were to ask one young boy, he would also say that they are lifesavers. You've probably never heard about the story of the 3 beavers who saved a boy's life. Real Gwendon and his parents were camping when his parents decided to go fishing in a boat. They left him at the shore, and he had to watch as their boat overturned and his parents drowned. If that wasn't awful enough, the boy was left entirely alone in the wilderness. He had no phone, no way of getting help, and no idea what to do. He decided to walk to the nearest town, but the sun was starting to set. He realized he would never make it there in the dark and had to sleep on the cold, hard ground. But he wasn't alone. He noticed something warm and fuzzy touching him. Thinking it was possibly a dog, he fell asleep feeling a little warmer. However, when he awoke in the morning, he realized 3 beavers were cuddled up against him. Given that the temperatures plummeted to below zero that night, those beavers saved his life. What's interesting is that since beavers are nocturnal, they generally wouldn't be resting at night, let alone cuddling up to an orphan child. Number 6. Dolphin protected swimmer from shark. Great white sharks are responsible for dozens of attacks every year, with 5 fatal ones in the United States in 2019 alone. Thankfully for surfer Todd Andrews, though, dolphins weren't about to let him become the 6th statistic. Todd had been surfing at Marina State Beach in California in what looked like perfect August conditions. He waded into the surf and spotted a pod of dolphins, but the water looked clear of any other creatures and people. As he watched his friend Brian Simpson glide under a wave, he was suddenly hit from behind and thrown around 15th into the air. He landed headfirst and quickly tried to head to the shore, knowing exactly what kind of sea creature could do that. But before he could, he was hit again, and the teeth of the great white shark dug into his back. The shark then grabbed hold of his leg and appeared to be trying to swallow it whole. It didn't look likely that he would be able to get out alive. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. The whole time they are all thinking that I'm going to die. A bar owner, Wes Williams, spotted the commotion and thought it looked like dolphins attacking him. 6 bottlenose dolphins formed a protective wall between the angry shark and Todd, which allowed his friends to get him back to the shore. Fortunately, Todd survived, but with more than 500 stitches and 200 staples. Number 5. Lion save kidnapped schoolgirl. It's not very often that you meet a lion in the wild and come out unscathed, so you will be shocked by this tale. 12-year-old girl in Ethiopia was kidnapped and beaten by 7 men who were trying to get her to marry one of them. She was missing for a week and was repeatedly beaten until her relatives and police found her just out of Beta G-net. But the circumstances surrounding how she was found continue to baffle authorities and her family. She was being guarded by lions that had been doing so for at least half a day when she was found. A local government official confirmed the story that the men had tried to marry her against her wishes and of the lions being there to protect her. See, according to Sergeant Wanda Mutacho, everyone believed it was some kind of miracle. He believed that lions would typically attack people, not save them. When they arrived to collect the girl, the lions didn't react, but rather went back into the forest and left her without a scratch. Number 4. Girl saved by lions from an early age. We are conditioned to think of lions as a special type of superhuman killing machine capable of causing a lot of damage to our puny human bodies. But if this story is anything to go by, maybe they're not quite as terrifying as we think. No, they are. In 2005, a 12-year-old Ethiopian girl was abducted by 4 men while walking home from school. Just a week later, the police managed to track them down as they were about to escape with her. But there was a problem. The abductors happened to come face to face with 3 African lions that promptly chased them off, leaving the girl behind. While this would usually be a pretty tragic ending to the story, the lions really didn't harm the girl at all. They stayed with her through the ordeal, standing guard and protecting her until the police eventually found her. The lions then headed back into the wild, apparently satisfied with their good deed. African media called the incident a miracle of God, and it's definitely worthy of the title. Lions don't usually behave like this, which only makes it more incredible. Number 3. Lion rescue. We never know what's going on in the heads of others, which is why it's so important to check in with people and protect our own mental health. But don't worry, because this is a heartwarming and uplifting story about the power of nature. In 2000, Kevin Hines had reached rock bottom, suffering from bipolar disorder and depression. He felt his life was spiraling out of control. Rather than go on living an unpleasant existence, he decided to just end it all. Soon after, Hines was standing on the Golden Gate Bridge and took that big leap into the unknown. Only Hines didn't die. Upon landing, Hines painfully shattered 3 vertebrae and realized he had made a mistake. He didn't want to die. Thankfully, a nearby sea lion didn't want him to die either and kept pushing him up above the water surface until the Coast Guard eventually arrived to collect him. Hines would later say that this sea lion saved his life. Hines began a program designed to help him deal with his depression and had since used his story and experiences to inspire others and urge those struggling with mental health struggles to talk about it. Number 2. Whale saves woman marine biologist. see a whole lot of stuff out there in the big underwater world. But there's a lot of stuff they don't see, like the megalodon or dolphins playing poker, that kind of thing. And apparently it's near unheard of to see whales protecting humans. While on a research expedition in the Cook Islands, marine biologist Nan Hosser was a little bit confused by what seemed like a very pushy humpback whale. While Hosser assumed that the whale was just curious about what she was doing, she quickly became aware that something was going on. Maybe the whale was angry at her, or perhaps it was just scared. Well, actually, it was a whole other thing. Hosser quickly realized that this 50,000-pound animal was not really interested in what she was doing at all. The whale was protecting her from a tiger shark underwater. Solidarity Hosser has gone on the record to claim that this could be the first recorded case of a humpback whale protecting a human. Even if that's not the case, it's a pretty fantastic story. Number 1. Fear protects women. Given how often humans hunt them, it seems kind of ridiculous to even suggest that a deer would consider protecting or saving a human life. But we live in a ridiculous world, and that actually did happen. After attending a college party, a Miami student found herself roaming around outside of the condo on her own. Just moments later, a strange man approached, grabbing her purse strap and using it to choke her. But that's when nature decided to take action. Seemingly out of nowhere, a deer jumped up and scared the attacker, who quickly fled into an open field chased by this deer. Considering just how shy deer can be, this is a pretty incredible encounter. Although again, given how often deer have been chased and killed by human hunters, perhaps it's not so surprising that a deer would want to fight that kind of thing happening to others. It's rare that deer even approach humans in the wild, let alone take a stand to protect them. Clearly, this deer had a strong sense of moral empathy for the poor woman that was suffering, and thank goodness it did. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.